Welcome back, and it's more Championship football for us. And we're going to kick off this episode with a boring 0-0 draw against Barnsley. However, Cassidy missed a couple of really easy chances in this game. So I am wondering, is he really up to this standard? His stats don't really suggest he will be, but we're going to have to see because we don't really have a lot of great options other than him to play, really. And then next up is going to be Reading at home. They look like one of the top teams in the division, to be honest, and they absolutely hammered us 4-0. And even though we're at home, we were never in the game. It was that one-sided. I said I was going to give a few tips on what I like to do, especially as I'm rising through the leagues with teams in like a challenge like this. And scouting is one of the important things. But it's quite different when you're in the lower leagues because you won't be able to send your scouts out very far. But what your scouts' knowledge is what players you can see on your players in range screen. As you can see here, I've already called in a team meeting because our start was that bad. So what scouts you have is what you're going to see in your players in range. So it's good to have plenty of as many scouts as you can, because they're more likely to be able to see more players. Now, if you can find not just scouts, but other members of staff that have scouting knowledge of different areas of the world, then that's when you can see these players in your players in range. And when when agents will come bring the players to your attention, that's the only reason. That's the only way I found the Danish player and Gomez and the Brazilian Neto, the Brazilian this season, is having that extra scouting knowledge. I couldn't scout the players or scout their region they were playing in, but because my scouts have knowledge of that area, they show up. So something to think about when you're hiring scouts. If you can find ones with different knowledge and not just the same one country, then you will be able to see more players in your players in range and therefore find more when it comes to signing them. And when you're scrapping, when you're looking at the scraps like I have been with Wealdstone, like being able to see as many players as you can is really beneficial. And I'm sure there's lots that I couldn't even see because I don't have I'm not able to scout an area. It's just I've seen the knowledge that I have that is what I can see. So just thought I'd give you that little bit of my tip on scouting. Anyway, certainly in the lower leagues. As for the team, as you can see, haven't been doing that well. A loss to Blackburn, but they were fourth in the table, so not too embarrassing, that one. Birmingham, we started well, but really poor in the second half, and they came away with a win. And then we just beaten Bristol City 4-0, a fellow team that came up with us. They don't seem to be as dominant in this division as they were in the last division anyway, as they're right next to us in the league table. But beating the 4-0, and we were well worth that scoreline as well. We really did dominate that game. Norwich next, and they absolutely hammered us in this game. Again, they're one of the top teams in the division. I think they are either second or third, were they, when we saw the last league table? But yeah, if you look at the stats there, we had 4 shots, 1 on target, compared to their 15 with 11 on target. So completely outplayed there. Moving on though, Middlesbrough at home, was hoping to get a bit more out of this game. We had a lot of shots, not so many on target, and that's again going to come down to not quite having an elite strike force. Playing Dennis in this game, and he hasn't really started that well, to be honest, for us. And brought Cassidy on, but he didn't really help. So yeah, we look there, Norwich are flying in third, and we are firmly in the mid-table position in the league. QPR here, not a very good performance by us in this game, and down to 10 men there with a pretty, I think it was a second yellow. It didn't really look like much of a challenge. Got a lucky breakaway goal there with a challenge. Didn't really deserve anything out of that game. Pretty poor, to be honest. So yeah, judging by how the season's going, I don't think we're going to get mixed up with the relegation battle. We're probably a bit too good for that. certainly got no chance of looking at any automatic spaces. We are clearly not good enough. That goal there was the keeper just watched it hit the post and the rebound went in. Bizarre. So yeah, we are now 15th with 28 points off 23 games. So we're on course for around 50 or 60 points. If we have a usual second half surge, we're playing Norwich again here, and again they absolutely hammered us and beat us 2-0 again. So yeah, if we 60 points, probably going to land us right in mid-table. I don't think we're going to be able to get involved in the playoffs. So far all the teams that have played near the top of the league have absolutely hammered us. So playing Hull again here, we beat them 5-1 in the first game, if you remember, when we scored like 4 goals in 10 minutes at the beginning of the game. And bizarrely, we must have their number or something, because we're going to win this game 6-1. So over the 2 games, we've scored 11 goals against Hull, and it's not like they're the bottom team in the table. They're not that great either, but we must be their bogey team, that's for sure. Because we're absolutely hammered them again. We could have scored even more as well. It was the same in the first game. We had a goal disallowed in the first 5 minutes in the first game. So, if I'm honest, if we can finish mid-table, that won't be too bad, because if we can strengthen the team next season, then I think we've got the basis. I think we've got the basis here. Defensively, we're not that great. Midfield, it seems fairly good, but the wingers are our strength. Palmer's been not as good as I'd hoped, to be honest, but Angel has been really good. Angel Gomez. So here is our big tie. So third round of the FA Cup. We've got an away tie at a Premier League club. So it's perfect, really, for a big payday. However, we've got Bournemouth. I mean, I don't think that you could possibly get a worse draw, because Bournemouth's capacity is only 12,000 anyway. Even if it was a packed-out ground, as you can see, there's plenty of empty seats. It's not a packed-out ground. It wouldn't even be that much of a big money spinner anyway. But the fact is that the attendance was 7,850, so we didn't even get a full gate. So really, it was such a shame, because I thought if we get the FA Cup you've always got a chance of getting a big club and getting that big gate receipts, and it could really help you out. Nice little 1-0 win against Cardiff. Very tight game there. Could have gone either way, to be honest. So just sneaked to win. Burnley at this stage are first or second, and an away try to Burnley. I mean, it was almost inevitable we're going to lose away at Burnley, because our away form isn't that good, and they're first or second in the table, so absolutely flying. But we get a penalty here to go 2-1 up in the 60th minute, so quite deep into the game here. Cassidy puts it away. 3-1 up. Very bizarre, because... Sorry, 2-1 up. Now it's 3-1. The corner comes in. Andy Smith heads it in at the far post. 20 minutes left. And we do actually hang on to get the win. They do score a goal here after 72 minutes to make it 3-2, but we hang on for the win. So that's probably the most bizarre result we've had all season, because we haven't really been good enough to mix it with the teams at the top, and we end up with a win. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.